Hello, and thank you for clicking on this audio video overview of the position for Director of Human Resources for Woodmont Cabinetry. What this is a audio version of some of the information we've sent you and some additional information that is not included in the downloadable position profile or on the internet, for example, on the website. So this is a complement to the other resources, and the information you're getting here will be very important for next steps if we mutually decide to move forward with this process because you're already a targeted candidate. Okay, so let me give you an overview of what's happening here. This is specifically given to only people who are already pre-evaluated, pre-approved, identified as a possible candidate for this position in Dallas. And this is a professional opportunity, full-time with Woodmont Cabinetry. We're not a staffing company. This isn't a contractor role. This is a W-2 full-time opportunity. And I think one of the things that makes this really unique is the fact that it's a leadership role, definitely. It's a supervisory role, but it's also a very strategic position. I have a background in HR management and resources, and this is not just a tactical and transactional role. This is a very strategic function, and you'll be part of an executive team that's making strategic talent acquisition and management decisions over the entire workforce. It also is supervisory, though. So there is oversight over the transactional and technical and compliance functions of the Human Resources Department. And finally, the other element that makes this role very unique is that you're considered the culture champion. You're kind of the pointy end of the spear driving the culture initiatives and the faith-based concepts and environment and goals and objectives of the organization. So this position is currently identified as a director level position, but I want to speak to that real quick because it's clearly part of a career path to be potentially a vice president role in the future. But we have the flexibility of bringing in somebody at a director level and moving them through the process of getting them acclimated, fully functional, and promoted within the business, or bringing in a VP level person who's already in a VP level role. We have that flexibility. But it's also likely that somebody is in a VP role today for a company with a much smaller span of control and responsibilities. When you come into this environment, it may not be the same because there's much broader contributions that are expected. So it's possible you're already in a VP role for a small to mid-sized company. And in this position, even at a director level, you're going to have more responsibilities, more opportunities, and a bigger set of duties. So I think one of the things that makes this opportunity really unique is that it's a manufacturing industry company. So Woodmont Cabinetry is manufacturing. And if you've not been in the manufacturing space, it's an opportunity for you to get additional industry experience. You can be in HR for a long time, but if you're in the same industry, you have limited value professionally. If you have an opportunity to be in HR in multiple industries, then you become more and more valuable over time. Another thing is this is a multi-location, multi-state operating environment. So that's of particular interest to the right person. We're talking about a population group of about 550 people, and it's growing. So this is not small. Also, this is a Lean Six Sigma operating environment, so you're going to be exposed. Hopefully, you've already been exposed to lean operations and what that means in a human capital environment. And then we also have opportunities for strategic project implementation. So in your role, you're playing more of a strategic function, but supervising the tactical and transactional functions. And like I said, that includes being a culture czar or the champion for a faith-based culture. And also there's other projects that are being implemented that are strategic. For example, employer branding. And we can talk about that more later. But the location for this role is in Dallas, and it's kind of between Grand Prairie and Dallas downtown, just south of that space. So if you're familiar with that area, that's the location. And if you listen to all of this audio video, I guarantee you're going to get some really valuable information regardless of where you go professionally, because if you're an HR person, you're one of us. Okay, so real quick, why are we doing this? Well, this is a time-sensitive opportunity. We're going into the holidays now, and we want to make a decision on a hiring process, get it all the way through the process finished up before we get into Christmas season. So this is very time sensitive. And like I said, this is also being given to you specifically because you've already been targeted. And we know this is not the typical recruiting process. We are a third-party organization. We're Proforce. We manage the recruiting function, and we're partnered with Woodmont Cabinetry. And so this is our way of creating an accelerated process. Typically, in recruiting, you have somebody that reaches out to a candidate, they try to schedule a screening interview, and you got all of that stuff that you have to manage. Well, this is our way of getting you information right up front, and you can listen to this multiple times, you can pause it, and then we're going to ask for information from you. So we effectively get a lot accomplished very efficiently and be able to move you forward in this process very effectively. So this is only for a candidate, again, that has been identified as a potential for the Director of Human Resources position. And the shift in the schedule is definitely an 8 to 5 kind of role, but it's a professional exempt function. So, overtime or whatever you want to characterize it as would be important for you to get the job done if necessary. And again, our timeline is very time sensitive. So let me introduce myself real quick. My name's Mark. I'm a recruiting manager. And again, I work for Proforce. We're a third-party organization. We provide recruiting and employer branding for organizations. And welcome to the process. Where you are today is we've already either found your resume, we've pre-identified you, or we've contacted you by email. We've sent you this information, so you have a link to this audio video. You also have a downloadable position profile. You need to look at that. That is a rich set of information about the company, the opportunity, the culture, the benefits, the total rewards, the specific role, the expectations of duties and responsibilities in the role. It's all in there. So you don't really realize this, but you're kind of in the middle of the process already because you've been pre-qualified, we've identified you as a potential candidate, and now we're giving you a lot of information so that you can make a really intelligent decision on whether or not this is a good opportunity for you. And if you get off this listening and you're thinking, wow, this looks amazing, this sounds great, then we want you to look at the link in the email with the questionnaire. It's kind of a pre-interview questionnaire, so it gives us a lot of information to complement your resume, and it prepares us for next steps. Okay, so that's kind of where we are in the process. And then from that point, we'll give you feedback immediately, and two things are going to happen. Either you're going to go forward with the process, and it could be a video interview or an in-person interview, and then, contingent offer and all that stuff. Or you could mutually decide with us, or we could decide maybe you're not the best fit or there's a stronger candidate. In that case, we're absolutely going to support your job transition and provide you some additional resources that are going to help you with the process itself. So that will hopefully be of value to you as you consider where you're going professionally. That's the least we can do to tell you thank you for being a candidate. Okay, so if you are an HR professional, you're already in a similar role, and you've got all the qualifications, ideally PHR or SPHR certified, then you're one of us. And we are part of the same community. We're looking for somebody that can listen to and read this information, and everything just resonates with you. And this is the kind of role you're looking for. So first of all, you have to have had a similar contribution in a similar situated company. This isn't a place to go through a big learning curve. We need somebody that is experienced and can hit the ground running. Also, your values need to be in alignment with the company values. You don't need to believe the same things. You don't need to have the same faith, but we're very visibly a faith-based company, and The owners have no reservation, or they're not shy about saying that, God runs this business, and Jesus is the CEO. He's the master carpenter from the Bible, and this is a carpentry organization that builds cabinets. So there's some pretty fun parallels there, but they're not shy about that, and they're looking for somebody that can absolutely reinforce that messaging and that vision and mission for the organization. And honestly, you're getting this information. Maybe you're not even looking for a job. Maybe this just came at you out of the blue and you're listening to this, and so far it's interesting. Well, I would just challenge you to think about this. Moses, when he was called in the Old Testament to do something special, he wasn't looking for a job either. He was just minding his business, taking care of sheep, living in Midian with Jethro. He had already been exiled from Egypt, and he was just out doing his own thing, married to Zipporah, and all of a sudden he's walking along one day and boom, there's a burning bush. And he's called to do something very, very, very special to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. You may be in a position today where you weren't looking for another job, but all of a sudden you're being faced with something here right now that has crossed your path. I would just challenge you to consider very seriously what the significance of this might be. Did we cross paths because we have some resources to help you in your career transition? Or are we a company that might be able to help you be more successful? Or are we presenting you with the opportunity of a lifetime and you need to take it seriously? I would also challenge you to take a look at the long view here, because this is not just a job. This is a huge opportunity for somebody to land in a role where they can grow and expand their capabilities and competencies as an HR professional. We've got a lean environment. We've got a strong propensity for performance management and a desire to build stronger learning models for performance development. We've got a culture, mission, and purpose. We've got all kinds of awesome strategic things for you to be involved in professionally while you're managing the folks that are doing the transactional and tactical work of the HR function. So you're going to absolutely improve your resume. And because it's a well-respected organization, because it's in growth mode, that's another benefit and part of your future resume to say that you were part of a growing organization. And also because it is a faith-based culture, a Christ-centered culture for the right person, that's going to be very special for you to be able to come to work. Sometimes we refer to this as a business as a ministry, where we're running a business. This is a for-profit organization. Woodmont Cabinetry makes cabinets for all of the major house manufacturers and builders in the country, and you may be living in a house right now with Woodmont Cabinetry in your kitchen, but they see this as an opportunity to influence people, customers, vendors, and have a positive impact on society through a spiritual vision, not just building cabinets. So if that appeals to you, having a higher calling for your work, then you're one of us. And like I said, there's also opportunities going forward for some pretty significant projects that will be part of the scope of work as well. We're currently working with Woodmont with regard to employer brand transformation. If you know about that, or if you've had some exposure to that, you're in for a wild ride. It's going to be a lot of fun. So as you can see, this is a very different recruiting model. Hopefully this is more efficient and better for you, because what's going to happen next is if you like all this information and you look at the downloadable position profile, we want you to take some time to answer some questions on the questionnaire link that's been provided to you. We actually probably look at that more in detail than we do your resume, because we're asking very specific questions to identify kind of where your strengths are and what that might look like going forward. So take time to really answer those questions with some level of specificity if possible, because like I said, we look at that stuff in great detail. And also, don't be shy. This is your chance to really highlight, what you've done and why you might be passionate about this type of opportunity. Okay. Also, I should tell you that there's no AI here. This is all real people. Matter of fact, I'm currently in Frisco, Texas right now, and all of the work that's centered in Dallas is downtown. So Proforce doesn't make the final hiring decisions. We are just doing the blocking and tackling to identify candidates for this position. And there's a hiring team within Woodmont that will be looking at all the detail and helping make final decisions. We'll also do a personality profile with a culture index or performance index that will help give us an idea of who you are and how you might fit in with the leadership team. And again, this is a ASAP scenario. So just a couple of real quick things about the organization. Woodmont Cabinetry is privately held. It's over 60 years old, continuing to grow, has a really valuable and unshakable reputation in the marketplace. The vision of the company is to create eternal value, not just financial value, by honoring God in all of its decisions with all of its employees, internal staff, vendors, customers. So, even if you don't have the same belief system, you have the confidence of knowing that these people are trying to do the right thing. Integrity and ethics is super important, and that is a foundation for how they make decisions. The mission of the company is to glorify God by building cabinets and relationships with integrity. That kind of emphasizes what I just said. That it's not just about building products and making money. It's also doing the right thing for people. And then the purpose of the organization, I'm just going to read this real quick. As a private, family-owned, faith-based cabinet manufacturer, we commit to glorifying God through integrity in our actions, unity in our team, and striving for excellence in all that we do, encouraging growth of our people and relationships, and being intentional in carrying out our long-term planning and profitability. Okay, so what you just heard there was the core values: faith, integrity, unity, excellence, growth, and intentionality. And you can rewind and listen to that again, but you can also read that in the downloadable position profile. So that tells you a little bit of what the organization is like under the covers and what's important to them. Now, the job itself reports to the president of the company. And so you're going to be working closely with not just employees, but your supervisory layer, those direct reports, also internal management, and potentially with the families of the employees of the business and third-party vendors that are providing HR-related solutions to the organization. I would love to go over all the benefits, but that would take another 25 minutes. The benefit package is ridiculous. And because of your HR background, you'll look at this and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There's financial benefits, health and wellness benefits, there's mandatory benefits, there's professional growth and development benefits, there's all kinds of intangible rewards and perks that go way beyond the traditional business. So I would just challenge you to take a look at that. It's multiple pages. It's kind of overwhelming just how much the company does to invest in its people. And I'll tell you, from an HR perspective, it is awesome to work for a company that puts so much investment into its people with real care and attention and compassion, because it is a testimony to how the company really values its people. A lot of companies say people are our greatest asset. When you look at the total rewards, you're going to see a tangible proof that the company really, really values its people. So I'll leave that there because you can take a look at the overall list. And then I would also suggest that really what's in this for you is not just the money. Yeah, the compensation is competitive and there's growth opportunity, but the long-term opportunity of making a professional impact on who you are, where you're going to grow. You're going to be in a growing organization. You're going to have all of these opportunities, but you're also going to have impact on other people. You'll be able to look back at your accomplishments in this type of an environment because you're managing strategic projects, because you're in a faith-based culture and you're people focused and you're involved in succession planning and you're managing the mission drift. What that means is the company has a mission and purpose, and you're in one of those strategic roles to help keep it on track and not let it drift away from the original vision and mission of the founding members of the company. And the list goes on. So this is more than just a financial opportunity. This is a career growth opportunity. It's an opportunity to make impact on a lot of people. Okay, let me try to wind this up. The last thing I want to talk about real briefly is the duties and responsibilities. What we've done is we've broken that down into several different categories. Yes, there's human resources function responsibilities. It's everything you would expect. Managing the payroll and the employee benefits and the administration of benefits and the HR functions, performance management, feedback, appraisals, all that stuff. But it's also got a leadership focus, and there's some very clear bullets around what's expected of you in a senior role. So we don't have a step in between director and vice president, but it's that level of responsibility in this large organization. There's also a section for operations management focus because you're in a role where you're going to be managing a lot of stuff, whether it's projects or inquiries coming in from team members or case management, UI, workers' compensation, and other things. So you've got a span of control that's fairly significant, and you're managing a team to be able to get all that done. And then finally, the culture focus is absolutely critical. We're partnered with you to be able to drive brand transformation and communication to employees and culture, because we don't want mission drift from the vision, mission, and purpose of the organization. So that's another hugely valuable contribution and will show up very nicely for you as you move forward professionally, either here within Woodmont Cabinetry or elsewhere. As you would expect, the job requirements are not unusual. The qualifications are no surprise. We are looking for somebody with a degree, ideally in business or human resources or something similar. We really need to have 8 to 10 years of progressive human resources experience, ideally where you've already had some project management responsibilities, you've had some supervisory responsibilities, not just managing people that are in supervisory roles. And then also organizational design development and supervisory is all kind of combined. So that's important. And ideally, PHR or SPHR certified. So those are some of the things we're really looking for. And you're in HR, there's no perfect candidate. So if you've got, most of the boxes checked, but there's a couple of things you don't have, don't think that automatically disqualifies you, because nobody's got bingo on the total number of things that we're looking for. We're just telling you these are the kinds of things that we think are important for somebody to be successful in the role. If you've got bilingual capabilities, that's great. Let us know. And that's not a showstopper, but that's helpful for this work environment. Spanish is the second most commonly spoken language in the work environment. And of course, your computer skills and your ability to manage HRIS systems is also important. I think on page 1 of the position profile, there's a tech stack, which kind of shows you, we're using Paycom internally, the other resources that are in play. But that if you've got experience with that type of platform, that you can probably adjust as needed. So thank you so very much for taking time to listen to this. I know it's a lot of information, but hopefully really valuable for you. The next step is, if this is exciting to you, we want you to take a look at the downloadable information and then click on the link to complete the questionnaire, because that's where we're going to get a lot more information from you. And then boom, we're moving on to next steps, and we will be in communication with you. And then finally, if this is not ideal for you, then we will still follow up with you and give you some resources that will help you in your career transition. All right, that's enough from me. Thank you so very much. My name is Mark, and I'm super pleased that you're in the process and look forward to getting the information from you. Our recruiting team will follow up with you as we move through this process. And Godspeed to you. Happy holidays and Happy New Year as we go into 2024.